I'd like to call the February 18th meeting of the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners to order. Mike, please take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaft.
Here.
Commissioner Schobel.
Here.
Commissioner Morrill.
Here.
Commissioner Mee.
Here.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Here.
President Kelly.
Here. And Commissioner Luca Hans is notified us that he's not going to be here tonight. Presentations? I don't think there are any. Community input. Is anybody signed up to address the board? Nope. Okay. Let's move to the consent agenda. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaft.
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel.
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill.
Yes.
Commissioner Mee.
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson.
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. Unfinished business. This is just requests for follow-up. Everybody should have received information to questions and memos from Mike. If anybody has a question on any of this stuff that, we're not taking action on this tonight, but if anybody has any questions, you can ask Mike now or you can contact him. But I'm hoping that this is the follow-up information you were looking for. Nobody?
Good.
Kim?
I still don't understand these tax objections. So this is just an automated system that continues to file against us every year?
The way I read, it was Andrew Payne's memo, is that this one attorney has figured out a search program that'll analyze each district's taxes and look for certain things that he's programmed in. And then when the program spits them out, he just automatically files an objection to it.
Shoot on those grounds alone.
For us, it's basically just the calculation on the annual general obligation bond thing. What was the other one, too, for us? It was, the liability fund.
On the new one, correct.
Right.
And so we have to spend attorney fees dealing with this, correct?
Yep.
Every year.
Yep.
Well, and there's a backlog, though. That's how long?
But I think that's what Judge Fullerton's trying to get to the bottom of.
Judge Fullerton is trying to move them along, but he's running into, they're not in any hurry because it's not costing them much. And they're not only filing them here, it's way more school districts than park districts. But, yeah, that's exactly what
Okay.
what we're being told. And we can't not respond,
Yeah.
we just continue to spend money. Mark?
Is the Fullerton that's mentioned in there, is that Paul Fullerton?
Yes.
Yes.
Are any of the tax years that are being sued or being reviewed during his tenure on the board?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, if nobody has anything on those reports, we'll move to the new business. New business item 1, approval to promote one part-time catering and sales associate to full-time status at Arrowhead Golf Club to meet the operational demands.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments, or discussion? Yeah.
So I had some follow-ups, and Mike just provided them, looking at the revenue over the last several years. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. So looking at this, we are seeing, about a 5-10% increase over the year?
Are you looking at the restaurant and banquet revenue for 5 years?
Page number 1, I guess?
Revenue only, Steve, the 5-year column.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're looking at about a 5 to 10% increase each year? Is that what do we got going on here? Can you guys run me through this real quickly, because I just got it?
Well, you're going from 4.1 to almost 5 million in 5 years.
Yeah, so over each year, because I don't have this in a spreadsheet myself, what are we talking about the increase each year in percentage?
Well, you've got, you're looking at,
Look at $1 million divided by 5.
yeah. I
Well,
mean,
that would be an You want the individual ones?
Yeah,
or you're looking for the average?
So it's easy to take two very large periods, but I want to talk about growth over time because I know that the last time we had talked about you guys have a plan several years down the road and kind of how you've been growing each year and then where eventually you expect to get. So
Kim,
that's,
if you look at those numbers, we had growth from 2010 to 2011 of a little less than 10%. And then pretty steady 11, 12, 13, and then a substantial growth, almost another 10% between 13 and 14.
so is that attributed to the banquets or more to the restaurant? Because I know you've said last time we had a whole bunch of increase in our weddings and those types of events. So what's driving this?
Well, it's I would say early we'd have to provide further analysis to get into specifics of your question. But early on, you'd actually probably have seen more of a movement in the banquets in the first year or two. In the last 3 years, it's been primarily on the restaurant side.
Okay. And then this position, it does both, right?
This position primarily sells to the banquet side. Although one of the functions we do have is that for smaller functions that aren't particularly from the banquet menu, we still do sell smaller parties for the restaurant through the banquet department just because they're salespeople and that's what they do every day. So we have a certain product that is not our go-to, but sometimes people like the restaurant product. So for parties of, let's say, 15 to 40 that don't want to do the banquet menu, sometimes we'll sell them a version of the restaurant menu. But primarily it's banquets.
Okay. Thank you.
And the issue was that we've pretty much stagnated in the last several years in the banquets.
And can you talk a little bit about that stagnation? Now, you guys you broke out sales. Is it because of your tenure?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look, and forgive me if I don't have the pages lined up, but I believe it's page 4 in your packet with the sales, and it's titled Contracted Sales by Minimum Food and Beverage Amounts.
Big capital word sales in the left top corner of the document.
This one?
Correct.
So there's some pretty compelling evidence to show as folks have more tenure here, they become much more effective. It correlates pretty easily. And, unfortunately, we lose people because we don't have these full-time positions. And we've provided other statistics that show these people are all game for the hospitality industry. Most of them end up with other salaried positions elsewhere in the industry. But if we were fortunate enough to keep them here, we believe they could continue to be more effective. They won't stay here for an hourly wage.
Can you explain on some of these tenures were 4 months? So, I mean, that's not enough time to train someone.
No.
And so I don't know if they're actually going somewhere else because of the training here and going elsewhere. Do you know what happened with that span of time? You actually had all at the same time.
Well, I'm sorry?
They all kind of happened at the same time back in 12.
Well, we didn't have that many people that they could have all happened at the same time. But, the terminations spread out over the years. There are 4, yes, in 12. But, yeah, there are people that sign up with us, and then 3 months later they get a bid on a salary job, and they take it. And that's been the story the whole time.
No, wait a minute. Is this 14? This is not 4 months.
I don't know which document you're
So
looking at.
I'm on the next page.
Okay.
And I was looking under tenure in months, but this has a hire date of May of 11, and then they left of August of 12. That's not 4 months. Is that supposed to be 14?
You are correct. There is an error there. That is a 4-month tenure. That I have to look which year is correct. That person didn't stay with us for more than the 4 months.
That would be the bottom one. The 11-1 to 3-9 would be the.
No, I know. I can see which Brittany Marshall's who you're looking at.
But yeah, I think Kim's right. The 2 above it might be 14.
So there, as I'm looking at it, yes, there's an error, but that person wasn't here for 16 months.
Okay, so maybe my question's not valid because the calculation isn't right.
Apologies for that.
Okay. And then the tenure of the person that you want that we want to promote, where would that fall within these ranges?
Well, that person's been here for about 16 months.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, Mike, please take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. Okay, moving to new business, item number 2. Approval to promote 2 part-time cooks to full-time supervisory status at Arrowhead Golf Club to meet operational demands.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions or comments? Kim?
So one of the things that I had asked for that Mike indicated we don't track, so I kind of want to talk about this, is ticket time.
Sure.
In the packet last month, the justification and concern was around customer experience. And as I thought about this over the past, several weeks, the measure of customer experience, very well, one of the few things you could track is ticket time. A 20-minute ticket wait for your meal is very different than a 10-minute, and I would expect there would be a very different customer experience. So that's why I had asked about that, and that if we want to talk about concern over how well that's doing, I would think we would track it.
Gotcha.
But Mike indicated we do not.
No, it's not a common practice in full-service restaurants to have that. In a fast food restaurant, you'd have something called pad to window, where they can calculate and their system, and as soon as they press a button. I've never worked with those. Those are fairly expensive, I believe, but it's much more. I won't say you'll never have it in a full-service restaurant. I've never seen one in a full-service restaurant, and it's not a common thing, because generally you're working with physical tickets, not a computer screen that says this order. So I won't say they don't exist, but it's not a common thing. So during a busy thing where you're serving hundreds of people, you get a ticket, it prints out, the chef expedites it, works with the cooks, and then we run it out, and then we spike it on a spindle. So we're not tracking that, other than I've worked 2,000 shifts since I've been here, and I can see how long they're taking, and I talk to the customers when there's an issue, and I constantly am looking at the timing. So it is anecdotal for me to tell you how the ticket times are, but it's not a number we track right now.
Okay, so I thought with the new system that we just put in, last year, wasn't that one of the features?
That was, if I ever said anything like that, it would have been completely errant. I never went into it expecting that to do that, and it's not something that I ever consciously talked about. So if I ever said it, it wasn't something we planned on, because conceptually it's the same system that we've had and that I've worked with in every other restaurant, where server places an order, you get a physical ticket, and then you spike it on a spindle once you run it out there.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
The only question I had is, Steve, when we were at the Finance Committee meeting, and we talked about these 2 positions, we talked about going back and reducing the part-time hours by the 4,000 that we were increasing the full-time. Are you still planning on doing that then?
That is the
Kind
plan
of the
right
way
now.
we were talking.
Yes.
Maybe that was you, Andy, but when we were at having that big discussion. So that's going to take place?
Correct.
So we'll be back for 26,000 hours of the part-time, and
There
then
would be
we'll
an
have the 2
appropriate,
new full-time
yes,
positions.
we diminish the expected hourly hours,
Yes.
part-time hours.
Right, okay.
And we did discuss at that meeting that if for some reason business continuously increases, that we'd be able to come back to the board and explain to you why we may go over that.
We might have to go over the 30-hour thing, and
Yes.
over the 26,000.
26,000.
Fine, okay.
The report indicates they're looking at trimming 5,000 hours.
Yeah, I think it was from 30.
Well, originally it did start off as 4,000. It came out of the Finance Committee to suggest 5, so that's what we put on here. 5, is what we put on here. It is a challenge, because essentially that means that if they're supervisors for 50 hours a week, they're doing nothing but providing an hourly function and not supervising at all. So this is how we presented it. That number is a bit of a stretch over the 4,000, but this is how we put it.
And we understood that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
John, so in regard to that 5,000 hours, since it's dartboard, I'm going to presume that we're going to revisit that if need be.
And we pretty much just said, go over it, just come back to the board and say, we're being forced to go over it, and this is why, and, just a heads up so we don't find out at the end of the year. But, yeah, that was kind of Andy and Steve were kind of thinking, well, it was a goal to shoot for, and, we'll just get a heads up if it looks like that's something that was impossible. But we're hoping with the,
Yeah, and Mike,
these new supervisors that are going to be around all the time, it will help out. Yeah, Mark?
This question's for Mike. One of the things mentioned in the report was the other alternative is paying the fines. Do we know what those fines are? Are they a scalable thing, or?
We know what they are currently. However, I certainly would caution against creating an environment where we're suggesting we're going to intentionally go outside of the law to pay a fine.
I'm not saying that. I just want the information.
The information is, I know what the numbers are right now. It's $3,000 a person if that person is working like a full-time person, so over an average of 30 hours a week, and they qualify for a federal subsidy, and that they actually...
Is that an annualized basis, or is that on a monthly basis, 3 months?
It's an annualized basis. If you recall, we started this entire conversation with the definition of our look-back period, which for us is October to October, which makes the most sense for the cyclical nature of a lot of our businesses. So the short answer is yes. It's $3,000. However, there is no guarantee, even if you casually pay attention to the news, that the IRS isn't going to decide that it's going to be more if they need to make up shortfalls on the other end of the program. So I am certainly of the mind that it's going to go up. But I think we need to control our environment within the boundaries that have been given to us. Is why we're essentially here today.
I'm not suggesting that we not abide by the law. I just want to know.
Understood.
Anybody else? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
No.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. New business, item 3, approval to promote 3 part-time parks operation employees to full-time status to meet operational needs.
I'll take the lead on that, John. While I believe that the recommendation has merit for further review, I would move at this point in time to table pending the receipt of some additional information from staff.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor of tabling?
Don't we have to vote first and then vote to table?
No,
No.
if we table, we're not voting on it.
Well, no, did he second your?
I seconded.
Yeah, Ray
Oh, okay,
seconded.
sorry, then I just heard Terry.
Yeah, Terry
Okay.
made the motion,
Never
Ray
mind.
seconded.
Okay.
You didn't say
All
it
in
loud
favor
enough.
of tabling?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Mike, we'll talk about that next. Item number 4, approval of a temporary license agreement between the Wheaton Park District and the Wheaton Sanitary District to provide access across Lincoln Marsh and Northside Park.
I would move to approve.
You made the
Second.
motion?
I did.
All right,
Second.
second. Okay. The information on this should have been in everybody's packet. Anybody have any questions? I might take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. New business item 5, purchases and service agreements over $10,000 and under $20,000. Item A, Parks Plus Fitness Center equipment maintenance agreement at $995 per month or $11,940 for a 1-year term.
So move.
Second.
Anybody questions or comments? Mark?
Did we explore the possibility of getting a multiple-year agreement for any of these people?
I'd have to defer to staff on that research. No.
Okay, well, we have looked into a 2-year, but they want to charge us the same amount of money without a discount. So, without a discount, I would rather not go into a 2-year agreement if they're not going to give me a discount rate.
Agreed.
Well, sometimes you're locking in a rate that possibly could increase.
That's true.
Have we used these people before?
Yes.
And are we satisfied with their service or? They do. So We're probably not going to get a better rate next year.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah, exactly.
We had the same
Yeah,
rate
now that
last
we're,
year.
you know, if it was a new vendor, I would be against locking in a multi-year until we knew about the vendor. But if it's an experienced vendor that we like,
I'd look into possibly maybe next year, we're going to go through this again. Let's see what would they offer us for a 2 or 3 year deal, you know?
especially if it's somebody you really like. All right, Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. Item 5B, approval of Arrowhead Golf Club GPS system license and service agreement, $917.73 per month, or $11,012.76 per year for a 35-month term.
Move to approve that agreement.
A second.
I'll second it.
Questions, comments, discussion? Kim?
So we're locking into a 3-year agreement. I mean, this equipment's pretty old right now. That's going to put it at 9 years. This equipment will be 9 years old. What is the lifespan? And I don't know who would answer this. What is the lifespan of this item?
Well, obviously, the lifespan is, technology changes every day. The price for a new version is substantially more money. So with the agreement that they're supplying with us, we're still going to be able to supply the same product we've had, which we've had no complaints from
Okay.
customers. They're going to continue to repair those same units. Our thought is when that time comes up, when we'll need new carts for the golf course, that's when we'll look into getting possibly another system or no system at all.
There you go.
And that will be in 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the whole thing, I think that the whole unit's, I think, an aberration on golf. I think it's worthless, number one. I think it slows down the game. And seeing ads pop up every time you change a hole, I hate the whole experience. I mean, I'll never vote for these.
Andy, just to refresh my memory, we sell approximately 20, what have we been averaging, 20 to 25,000 in advertising?
We've been averaging over 25,000 a year.
So for the first 3 years, we hit our goal of 30,000 the first year, but then we kind of fell under. So this 3-year agreement does give us a chance to make up the money that we're behind at a cost of probably, 10 grand a year at least, or 12 grand for the next 3 years?
Correct.
And I disagree with Mark. I like him. Terry?
Same. You know, I have a different opinion than Mark does. You know, I think it adds to the experience. Yeah, we do have some problems that we encounter from time to time operationally. And, Andy, it may well be that, and as we've talked about it, because we have gas-fueled units versus the electric carts, so we know that that's an issue, and that might be rectified, if we go to electric carts in the future. But, yeah, I think it adds to the experience, and, I don't receive any complaints from golfers about these units.
Really?
Really? I wouldn't have said it, Mark.
The guys I hang with.
Well, there you go.
Anybody else? Hey, Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Vanderschaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel?
No.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. Okay. That concludes new business. We got 2 reports from staff. What I'd like to do is just combine those with board member discussion. So I'm just going to open it up to the board. If you'd like to question one of the reports, or if you just have comments, you can do so now. Anybody? Terry?
For Ryan, very comprehensive report. Thank you. As I read through this, it appears that we're, at the very least, we're holding our own. Is that about how you see it, or do you see it a different way?
No, I think we're moving forward as we go forward here. I've been on for about a year and 3 months now, and I think we're going in the right direction. We've added a lot of new stuff, and I think the members are starting to notice it. So,
Are we taking a hit from the competition from other fitness centers, that, as far as you can tell?
we're losing some people just because of the Orange Theories of the world and the Cardinals, just because they are a lot cheaper in regards to us, but they're not offering the same services that we do.
So we're holding our own.
I think we are, yeah.
Cool.
Ray?
A couple things. Brian, Health and Wellness Committee, have you thought about reaching out to the school district or city, seeing how you might engage them in health and wellness?
I haven't at this point, but definitely something I can look into. We're always looking to expand our offerings for our health and wellness.
Might be something that, the three can work together, and perhaps we can get some membership out of it as well.
Awesome.
And the other is the varied interest report.
Oh, Ray, hang on a second. As long as we got Ryan at the podium, does anybody else have any questions for Ryan?
I just wanted to congratulate him on the race certification, race director
Thank you.
certification. I think that's really good, and it seems to be really appropriate with the fact that we're taking on more races and helping other community groups. So I was really pleased with that.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan, thank you.
Okay. Varied interests, page 12 in the report. Both reports, by the way, are very good, very informative, so thank you very much. Page 12, the future challenges. I agree with all of your future challenges that you indicate there. Varied interests have always been a very difficult program area in which to generate interests and participation. It's one of those things where you're offering a multitude of different leisure programs that people can participate in, and you're not going to get large numbers like you do with the athletic programs. And as far as the teen groups, definitely they don't want anything if it's pre-planned for them. They're kind of off the cuff. And I also know that there's a lot of households that are going to the private studios for lessons in that. My daughter is a good example. My granddaughter takes dance lessons at a different place, and that place is just packed. And they take tumbling at another private place, and I can't believe the number of kids that are going through those places. So there's a lot of competition out there. Thank you.
Okay. Mark, you were.
Wait,
Don't leave us, Kristen.
Sorry.
We want to beat on you a little bit.
One of the things I said, number one, I was happy to see that the profit margins you're making on the programs. And the one that struck me was that, and you made mention of it, I know that my children, when they were going up through those ages, we spent a considerable amount of money in that arena, whether it was vocal performance or dance. And I noticed those are your largest revenue producers, the dance programs. Have you thought of a way to expand those?
One of my instructors actually does work for a company outside, so she brings in a lot of new ideas. Right now we're looking into different forms of dance. Also, she's been looking into a progress report policy or procedure. So when the kids start as 3-year-olds, they advance kind of like swim lessons. So that will keep them in our program. So when they start to age out and become more advanced dancers, they don't move to a company. We actually advance them within the park district.
Okay.
Terry.
Kristen, nice report. I noted, that you've got some significant future challenges here. In your opinion, do you think that you can overcome those challenges with all of the competing outside interests and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest hits was my summer camp. According to my 2015 action plan, I have a lot of, we've been working on a lot of ideas in terms of bringing in specialty programming to interest the kids a little bit more. And I joined the Illinois Parks and Recreation Association Teen Committee, so we've been collaborating on a lot of different ideas to bring in some more kids.
Good, thank you.
Anybody else? Jane.
Kristen, I wondered, one of my neighbors asked me about us offering Mad Science. Do you know about that? Is that something?
I've heard of Mad Science before.
She's taking it from some other park district in the area, so that's why I wondered. So.
Yeah, I'm actually looking into some new science opportunities. I didn't use them before because we had originally worked with Cool Science. We're in the process of fading that out. So I've worked with Mad Science in the past, and it is an option that I will look into.
And then the other question I had dealt with vaccinations, because that's been so topical in the news. Is that information that we know about our participants at all?
We request a health and medical form specifically for summer camps. I don't believe we have any personal health information regarding the varied interest programs. I would have to double check and get back to you on that.
Is that something that the DERMA is taking any kind of stance on?
Not that I've heard of.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be something we need all of our programs?
Well, I
Not
would think
simply,
we would need it everywhere.
yeah.
But I don't know what we have, and I don't know what we've been asking on the forms, so. I mean, in special rec, you get a lot of information, a lot of health information, but I don't know what the park district's been doing.
Becoming.
I mean, it's certainly something that maybe we should be thinking about, maybe.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Any other board member? Kim?
I've got a question about the leisure ships. Do you know where we are for the year, where we stand as far as budget?
I can get that to you for the,
Okay.
not this weekly report, but for the next.
Okay, good. I know it's going down, which can be good, or maybe we're not advertising it enough. And so I'm just curious as to where we are with that for.
No problem.
And then the other thing, and I know Sarah's not here, but I wanted to offer my congratulations. I actually read the Glancer magazine where I saw her name. So.
Anybody else? Okay. Mike, do you have anything for the board?
No, sir.
All right, otherwise, I would like a motion to go into closed session under 5 ILCS 120/2 C1 and C11.
So moved.
Second.
Mike, take the roll, please.
Do we need to specify what those are for? Or just give the numbers?
It's in the agenda.
Would be going in under appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, and pending probable or imminent litigation. Just for the folks at home. Roll call. Commissioner Vanderschaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Schobel,
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson,
Yes.
President Kelly.
Yes. And I'll let everybody know that we do not anticipate that the board will be coming out of executive session to take any action tonight.